Hey, hi, and howdy to all my sweet friends. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. My name is Courtney, and I do a lot of cooking, and I buy a lot of groceries, and I film it all and put it here on my channel for you guys. If you like that kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, stick around, and check out all my playlists. All right, y'all, this is my weekly meal prep, and this one is pretty basic. For whatever reason, we just didn't need a lot of meal prep. We weren't home as much, but I did have a few things that I worked on in the kitchen, and I thought I'd go ahead and film them and share them with you guys. I'm starting off with coffee syrup. I don't know about y'all, but I love iced coffee. Like, love, love, love it. I could spend a small fortune at Starbucks, but I have learned how to make a few of the flavored syrups to make my own knockoff Starbucks at home, and this is one of them. This is the sugar cookie flavored syrup, and you can just mix it with half and half or your favorite milk or alternative milk, whatever it is that you use, and it will make your iced coffee fabulous. I will link the recipe down below, but essentially it's simple syrup, which is water and sugar, and then I use butter extract, almond extract, and vanilla extract and add them all in there, and then just cook it until the sugar is 100% dissolved into the water and it's pretty much clear, aside from the slight tint from my vanilla. And you have got an amazing coffee syrup. I just put it in a mason jar with a top. I got these tops that you'll see here in a minute off of Amazon, so if you're interested in them, I will do my best to try to link them down below. They just turn easy mason jars into like pour jars, so you can make coffee creamer or coffee syrup. I've done both. I did enjoy the homemade coffee creamer, but quite honestly, I'd rather just make up a few different flavored syrups and use like half and half or coconut milk or almond milk to make different kinds of coffee, or even my hot coffee in the morning. But that's how simple it is. Just use a funnel to pour it into my mason jar, just to make sure I didn't spill it everywhere, because it is like super sugary and it will be super sticky. And there's the top right there. I love these. I got them in a 2-pack, and I want to say they were like $9 or so, but I will do my best to link them down below if they still have them. And I think they're fabulous because I use mason jars for a lot of things in my home. So this is really, really great to kind of turn it into like a pour jar. But here is how I make my coffee. Currently, I'm using the Califia Farms. And yes, I like a very large coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. One of my favorite things. I use a lot of that cold brew coffee base, and then I just put a little bit of almond or coconut milk in there. Sometimes if I have some half and half, I'll use that, but I try to go dairy free. And then as you saw, I put in just like the equivalent of a couple pumps of the syrup. Mix it really well, and it is so nice and refreshing. I don't put ice in mine because it just waters it down. I prefer it just out of the fridge cold is fine by me. All right, y'all. Next up, we're going to do some taquitos over the weekend. I bought the frozen ones, and I love Pico de Gallo. And when I make Pico de Gallo, I usually make it to like put on stuff and also to throw in some homemade queso. So today I'm going to get started on my Pico de Gallo. It's super simple. I've made it before here on my channel. Today I've got these little sweet Campari tomatoes. I got them at Sam's Club. If you saw my recent grocery haul, I think you would have seen them in there. I think I got them when I was getting groceries, but I just diced these up, you know, into the kind of bite-sized pieces that I want. You can use any kind of tomato. A lot of times I use Roma tomatoes. I think when I have the opportunity to get tomatoes like these Campari or the flavor bombs or even like the little grape tomatoes, they always taste a little bit better than the Roma tomatoes, but you definitely pay more for them. So Romas are the cheapest way to go, and they make a great end product. I just really do love, especially during the summer, like the flavor bomb tomatoes are my absolute favorite. They are so delicious. And then HEB has one called a Texas Trio, and they're fabulous. Anyway, today I'm just using these Campari, and once I dice them up, I sprinkle salt on them and then let them sit for about 15 minutes. This is like my pro tip of the day, I guess. I do this a lot. I do this when I'm like slicing tomatoes up for sandwiches, or when I don't want something to be super runny. And see, after 15 minutes, look how much liquid pulled out of the tomatoes. I can just drain it out, and they're pretty dry at that point. And when I make Pico de Gallo, I don't want it too watery because I'm going to add in lime juice. So I really want the other liquids to be kept at a minimum. So to my tomatoes, I added in some cilantro, some green onion, 1 minced jalapeno, and 1 minced poblano pepper. That's what I like to use. You can kind of put in whatever you want. Sometimes I'll use just like a regular red or yellow onion, but I really do like it better with green onions just because I think they have a better flavor. I also add some salt and pepper and then lime juice, and that's all I put in my Pico de Gallo. You don't have to add a ton of stuff in there. This is great. Occasionally I'll throw in like some mango or something like that if I want something different, especially if we're having seafood. A mango pico de gallo is so good with fish and shrimp and stuff like that. But we're just doing cheapo frozen taquitos this weekend, and I'm just using this as like in place of a salsa and then to add to my queso. So just a basic pico de gallo is perfect. Always do a taste test. Always got to make sure you've got your flavor levels the way you want them, and that one was good. All right, so before I move on, I do need to go ahead and repackage this meat. Here's another little tip, and I bet all of you guys have seen this. I've been doing this for a couple of years. If I am not using my food saver, and I'm not right now because I'm out of bags, or like the plastic that you use to make the bags, I don't have any of that. I need to remember to get some. So right now I'm using zip top bags, which is okay. I'll just make sure that I use this meat pretty quickly because it will freezer burn if I leave it in the freezer past like 3 or 4 months. But I just go ahead and slice up my little tubes of meat. They were 3-pound tubes, so I did 4 bags that were 1.5 pounds and 3 bags that were just 1 pound. And then here's what I do. I squish it nice and flat. I get it as flat as I can. And this is fabulous for a number of reasons. One, it takes up less room in your freezer, so it's really easy to store a lot more stuff. Also, this will thaw super, super quickly. Like if you put it on your counter, you only need about an hour, maybe 2 hours to get this meat to thaw all the way through, even on the 1.5 pounds and even on 2-pound bags. I didn't have any 2-pound bags today. Typically that is my favorite way to package is in 2-pound increments, because typically I make big meals where we have leftovers, but I do like to have the 1-pounders too, because sometimes you only need 1 pound of meat. Anyway, I do make sure and label mine, and then I pop these guys all into my deep freeze. I've already used some of them. We were completely out of ground beef when it went on sale. So here's the taquitos in case you're interested. I just use these Delimex or the HEB store brand taquitos. These were I got Walmart cash back for those, so I just pop them in the air fryer. I do a bunch of them, and then we can just reheat them. They're easy, they're quick, and they're fun. So if you're looking for a quick, easy meal, they're great on weeknights and they're great on weekends. All right, I'm going to make some queso. I am not a huge fan of the Velveeta queso. I make it because my husband likes it, but I don't love Velveeta. So when I can, I make it with white American cheese. You can get it sliced at your like your deli counter where they slice like the ham and the turkey and stuff. Or some grocery stores sell it like this in a block or slices. These are not individually wrapped. That's a little bit different. I have found if you have to unwrap the cheese, it's not exactly the same as like this chunk of white American cheese. And this is my favorite way to do it. The HEB brand is my favorite for this just because it's easy to find and I know what I'm looking for probably. But I just mix it with a little bit of half and half. You can use milk, but it's better with half and half or heavy cream because there's some extra fat in there and it just kind of helps it all come together a little better. I also like to add in some shredded cheese. Today I'm using a quesadilla blend, so it's got like different types of Mexican cheeses in there. And I add a little bit more half and half because that is like real cheese and it's stringy, and the half and half just kind of helps to make it more saucy. I'm also adding in some of my pico de gallo. I like a lot of it in there. You can add in salsa or rotel, whatever it is you like. I do prefer to use like salsa or pico de gallo, and the fresher the better. If you're using fresh like I am, your queso is going to have a beautiful flavor. But that's what our plates look like over the weekend. I just made a box of rice-a-roni and opened a can of black beans. But taquitos are an easy go-to. It's a great alternative for tacos or nachos. So if you haven't given that a shot, I definitely recommend it because they're super quick and easy, especially in the air fryer. The last thing I was meal prepping was some chicken salad so we can have chicken salad sandwiches during the week. I did have some frozen shredded rotisserie chicken in my freezer. I usually buy a couple at Sam's Club every week. Either we use them or I shred them and pop them in the freezer, and I have them for later use, which comes in handy pretty often. I also use them to feed my dogs. But today I'm going to make some harvest chicken salad. So I have, I think that bag had 3 shredded chicken breasts in it, and I'm dicing up 1 apple. Typically, I will also throw some celery into this chicken salad, but I did not have any on this particular day, so I skipped that. I'm going to add some grapes in. Usually I do red grapes because the color is beautiful. I've also done craisins and raisins in the past, which are all wonderful, so you can kind of just go any direction with it, but I love a nice, beautiful, fresh grape. It's really juicy and sweet. It adds some texture. It adds a lot of flavor. I definitely prefer the grapes over all the other stuff, but all of it's good at the end of the day. I also like to add in pickles, lots of dill pickles for me, and then I do add a little bit of sweet pickles in as well. This was the last of one of my containers of pickles. These are my favorite, and I can't remember what they're called, but Sam's Club finally sells them. They're kind of expensive. I want to say they're like Grillos or something like that. But when I think about it and I'm at Sam's Club, I always grab some just because they're way cheaper there than at the grocery store. I pay like $6 for this big tub at Sam's Club, And if I get them at the grocery store, they're like almost $5 for a container that's almost half that size. So I definitely think Sam's Club is a better price point. But I tossed in my dill pickles. I do recommend like a kosher pickle or something if you are going to add some dill pickles in there. I think the kosher add more flavor. I also threw in, and I didn't film it, just a little bit of sweet pickle relish. And then I added in a couple of handfuls of almonds. I've also done walnuts and pecans in the past, but I had almonds that were already sliced and need to be used up in my pantry. So I did go with almonds, and then adding in some mayonnaise. I find that for the mayonnaise, add in as much as you like. Some people like this a lot creamier. Some people like less mayonnaise on there. So just kind of add what you like. I don't want to give you an exact measurement because you might not want it that mayonnaisey, or you might want more. I don't know. But I give this a nice good stir and get the mayonnaise coated over like all the chicken and all the goodies. And then my seasonings are pretty basic. I do salt and pepper, of course, and then I add in onion powder. You can like grate in some onion or something if you want. A lot of people do that. My husband would not like it if he bit into onion in this chicken salad. So I just go with a little bit of onion powder to kind of amp up the flavor. Lots of pepper and of course some salt, and we love this. It is so fabulous on like a sandwich or just in a bowl. It's just delicious. You can wrap it up as a lettuce wrap. So good and so refreshing and so simple if you make it with rotisserie chicken too. Just a heads up in case you don't know, Sam's Club and I think Costco also have rotisserie chickens for like $4.98, $4.99. Great deal right there. But that is it for this week's meal prep. Like I said, I just didn't have as much this week. I'm not sure what next week holds either. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will list or link any recipes I can down below. I hope you guys have had a fabulous week, and I hope you'll join me back here for my What's for Dinner video on Saturday. Bye.